welcome everybody to this episode. We got some really great, some of my favorite people actually. One, the guest of the hour is Roger Ver. He's chairman of Bitcoin.com, huge BCH Bitcoin Cash proponent. He's looks like he's coming from us somewhere in the warm tropics. We're not going to disclose his exact location, but really happy to have him on. Got my co-host Ryan Gorman. We have Rob from Digital Asset News, huge YouTube channel out there on crypto. We have Danish Chaudhry, who is head of Bitcoin.com exchange, and subsequently Roger's boss. And then we have John Najarian, who's the bubbly host and star of CNBC's Halftime Report and co-founder of MarketRebellion.com. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I know we're coming from all over the world right now.
Yeah, it's great.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The reason we wanted to have Roger on is, first and foremost, before we talk about all the real fun stuff happening over at Bitcoin.com, like their wallet and that, is we have the BCH hard fork, which is scheduled for November 15th. And the BCH hard fork reminds me a little of DeFi and the fact that not too many people understand exactly what's going on. So I wanted to kind of, get it straight from the source. I know that there's two different angles here, two different camps, Roger, and one is BCHN, which is you, and the other one is Bitcoin ABC. Now there's a whole pie chart I looked at, which has a whole bunch of other relevant players in it, I guess, for the voting and whatnot. But can you walk us through exactly what's going to happen, how it's going to affect us as holders, and what the prevailing benefits are going to be of this fork?
Yeah, I wish I had a crystal ball where I could tell you exactly what's going to happen, but unfortunately I don't, and uncertainty spooks investors away, so that's a bit of a problem for Bitcoin Cash at the moment. But the overall argument that's going on here is one group within the Bitcoin Cash community, namely ABC, and not even all of ABC, a big chunk of ABC split away to form Bitcoin Cash Node because they were upset about what Armory and the rest of ABC were doing, which was basically saying, okay, starting November 15th, 8% of the block reward is going to go directly to our wallet, and we're going to do whatever the heck we want with that 8% of the block reward, and the miners aren't going to get that anymore. And everybody else said, no. That's not the way Bitcoin has ever worked, and that's not the way Bitcoin Cash has ever worked. The block reward goes to the miners. And so part of ABC split away to form Bitcoin Cash Node, which is another full node implementation that doesn't siphon 8% of the block reward away to pay the developers. So on November 15th, which one's going to have more support? It looks pretty clearly Bitcoin Cash Node is, if you look at the blocks right now, about 55% or so are signaling for Bitcoin Cash Node, 0% are signaling for ABC, and the other 45% aren't signaling at all. And a little birdie told me that another major mining pool is going to start signaling for Bitcoin Cash Node on Monday, which will put Bitcoin Cash Node at somewhere at the ballpark of 80% with 0% signaling for ABC. So my hope and my first choice would be that Bitcoin Cash just continues on as it always has, with the block reward going to the miners, and everything will be smooth and happy forevermore. If ABC somehow manages to hijack part of the block reward and pay it to them, it would be a different coin in my book. And we've seen a number of businesses already state as much there. So if they want to fork away, they should implement replay protection and make their own coin and be clear about it. They shouldn't try to hijack an existing project. So that's my take, and I think a fairly accurate assessment.
And that's the important point here, right? If they decide to do that hard fork, it'll be a completely separate coin, the ABC coin, from the BCH coin. So holders of BCH won't be subjected to that Soviet-style central planner's dream come true that you tweeted about back in August.
Yeah, and if it does happen, then every BCH holder will get a free airdrop out of it as well. But with those free airdrops comes a lot of free drama, and the drama, we like the airdrop, but maybe not the drama that comes with it. So we'll see what happens here coming up soon, though.
Now, when it comes to when you talk about people giving the nod in a certain direction, that has to do with voting power, does it?
Well, it's the same kind of problem we saw with Bitcoin scaling the first time around. There isn't any one single person that makes the decision, so everybody gets to argue, and whether it's arguing on Twitter or on YouTube or via email or mining pool signaling and exchanges signaling, there's no one person to decide. So that's that's the beauty of decentralized systems, but that's also the downside, is that everybody spends a whole bunch of time and effort and resources arguing, and there isn't any clear-cut way to actually make that decision there. And we saw even mining power doesn't do that, because we've seen multiple times now a minority of mining power fork away to make their own coin. We saw that numerous times with numerous different coins over the years. So yeah, keep your private keys, not your private keys, not your coins. I think that's the best advice, with any coin at any point.
So
Absolutely.
some miners, they're writing "powered by BCHN" on blocks that they've mined to signify their rejection of Bitcoin ABC. Is that what you mean by mining pools are signaling their support for BCHN?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. There's a great website over at, I believe it's coin.dance, and you can click around there and you can see a whole chart where you can see each and every block and what they're signaling for. And so you can see a bunch of, more than half are signaling for BCHN, and then none are signaling for ABC. The other ones that aren't signaling, they're not signaling at all. So of the miners that are signaling, BCHN has 100% of the support, and I think that's going to increase to an even overall larger percentage. More of the ones that aren't signaling are going to start signaling for BCHN this coming week, is what I've heard. But like everything in crypto, believe it when it happens. So.
Absolutely. Rob, you got to jump in here. I know you got to have some questions about this.
No, it's not just that. Me and Roger talked about this as far as the forks and the hard forks. And it was the same thing. I told him, I go, Roger, another fork? He's like, yeah, another fork. Here it comes. I think this is going to be one of those huge years, 2021. So the less confusion we have, the better. So when people are coming in, they're like, oh, okay, we got Bitcoin, we got Bitcoin Cash, we got Bitcoin Potato, we got Bitcoin everything out there, Bitcoin Diamond, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But it's just to have some solidarity. So if you're going to have this type of fork, hopefully, like Roger says, it just kind of like, it singles away and it dies off the chain, as I call it. I just don't see another reason for it, especially if they're signaling like that. I just don't see it.
Yeah. I mean, what kind of impact is this going to have from an economics point of view, Roger? What do you think, or what do you think it's going to have? Again, crystal ball.
Yeah, and it's already had a big impact, so I don't have to have a crystal ball. I can look in my rearview mirror and see what actions people have taken. So I have, a number of different cryptocurrencies out there, and I'm able to earn interest on them with DeFi and other things out there. Previously, I've been taking all that interest that I was earning and just rolling that right back into buying more Bitcoin Cash or selling more Bitcoin Cash puts to get Bitcoin Cash at an even lower price. But a few months ago, when I saw this, dev tax, or whatever you want to call it, the 8% of the block reward being diverted, I stopped using that income to buy more Bitcoin Cash and switched to Ethereum. And from an investor standpoint, that's worked out fantastic. In my heart, it's a little bit sad, but that's that's the world we're in. And I'm sure I'm not the only investor that's been spooked away. We saw Microstrategy's Michael, I forget his last name, saying he wants a stable platform that isn't going to be changed to buy into. And he's right about that part. I think he's confused about BTC being that stable platform. I know it was a drastic change for Bitcoin to allow the blocks to become full, but that's a whole nother argument. But his fact about investors wanting a stable platform to build upon or invest in, he's exactly right on that part. And Bitcoin Cash is not giving that stable platform at the moment at all, and that's a big problem for Bitcoin Cash.
And do you think, by the way, did you have conversations with MicroStrategy at all when they were going through their selection?
I sent Michael a direct message a couple of days ago on Twitter. I don't think he's read it yet. I'd be more than open to having that conversation with him in the future, but it seems like he's already made up his mind pretty clearly at this point, and I don't know how much I'd be able to influence him at all in that factor. But I'm looking to learn from anybody. Anybody, if he had $400 million to pour into Bitcoin, you don't have $400 million under your control if you're not a sharp guy that can figure out how to do things. So maybe there's something I can learn from him as well.
Roger, that the way they purchased it to the Bitcoin, whether it was every 0.2 of a second, every three seconds, whatever, that seemed pretty unique as well. I mean, the fact that I think the average price, Alex, if I'm not mistaken, was around 11.2 all in. When they blended the price of all of the Bitcoin that they bought, that was a pretty big deal.
Yeah,
it actually reminded me a bit of, if people remember the Willy bot on Mt. Gox, there was another similar bot that was buying some Bitcoin I think it was every 30 seconds or something like that, which is a pretty good way of doing things.
Well, I mean, when it comes to buying and selling, I want to touch on Bitcoin.com's wallet and what you guys have going on over there, because first of all, I've been in London now for the last month. One of my good friends, Danish, lives here and sits on the floor. And he first got me into Bitcoin Cash a while back. It was a different wallet. I don't have to name it. And then the Bitcoin.com wallet came out. And so he immediately took my phone, converted everything over, and showed me how to use it. Now, I've actually used this wallet for transactions here in London, and it's simple. I mean, I'm a simple guy, so I needed something that, you know, our mothers could understand. And this is really, it's touching on that. I mean, the ease of use, the fact that I could complete transactions on it, this is a big step forward, because you've always been a huge proponent. The one thing I love about you, Roger, is that you've gone around the world for years with the cell phone in hand and just saying, guys, this is how easy crypto can be. I mean, huge accomplishment for you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Although it needs to get even easier. And a lot of people don't realize this, though. Even right now today, there are more physical shops around the world accepting Bitcoin Cash than any other cryptocurrency, including Bitcoin. And I think that's an example of just how easy it is to use. And when you have fast, cheap, reliable transactions, people are going to be likely to use it. And another thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is that Tether, the #1 stable coin in the world, is available right now on top of the Bitcoin Cash chain, and it'll cost you about 1/20th of a penny to make a Tether transaction on top of Bitcoin Cash in your Bitcoin.com wallet. Whereas on Ethereum at the moment, it's $5, $6, $10, and changing by the minute there. So Tether being on top of Bitcoin Cash and available in the Bitcoin.com wallet, I think is a pretty big deal that a lot of people haven't realized yet. It makes it even more useful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, just from the buying and selling point of view, Danish, going over to, you know, what your role is with the exchange for Roger and everything like that. What are you guys seeing? What are you expecting? I did walk by your desk the other day, and you stopped me to show me something. I mean, what's going on with let's call it the BCH capital market side of Bitcoin.com?
No, it's good. So the exchange is doing really well. It's like Roger, I came on board to help Roger since I think it was June, July last year, and we've been growing ever since. We obviously focus on all crypto, access to all kind of crypto, but we've got BCH markets, and they've been seeing a lot of good interest lately. So a lot of the coins that kind of list with us want to get that BCH pair, want to get into that audience sort of thing. So it's been pretty good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's, again, it just goes back to the ease of use. Yeah. Fun topic I want to get on was, and I was at a little crypto get together at a house the other week, and someone gives me their phone, and there's a tweet from Tim Draper, and I mean,
or was it?
Or was it?
Yeah, or was it?
It's almost like Roger changed his name to Tim on his handle for a second. But it was awesome. You know, there's speculation the account was hacked. There's all the, you know, people flying around. He tagged the wrong person, which I noticed right away. But it doesn't matter. It's too late. The tweet went out there. It praised Roger, praised BCH. What went on with that, Roger? What's going on? Are you and Tim pool buddies, or was that a mistake?
Yeah, I think to call myself and Tim friends is we're friendly. I'm not, you know, his drinking buddy or anything like that. But we had multiple, you know, half an hour, 45-minute long conversations over multiple, you know, times. There. So we've talked quite a bit about Bitcoin Wallet. I showed him how to make his own token on Bitcoin Cash and sent the token to his wallet. He's definitely aware there. I think, if anything, what this shows is just how toxic the Bitcoin maximalist culture is on Twitter, where they were literally lying. We saw one of the lead developers of Monero, and Monero is a coin that I think is fantastic, but the behavior of some of their developers is just sickening, literally lying on Twitter saying, oh, he called Tim's office and they said their account was hacked. His account was not hacked. He tweeted that of his own volition. I didn't ask him to do it. I didn't know he was going to do it. It caught me by surprise. But Tim absolutely has a pretty significant stake in Bitcoin Cash. It's for him to tell exactly what his stake is and what his plans are, but his account was not hacked. The fact that he then later deleted the tweet, though, just shows how toxic the cancel culture of these Bitcoin maximalists are. And I am not a Bitcoin Cash maximalist. I helped start a whole bunch of other cryptocurrencies, including Ripple and Zcoin and Zcash and a number of other ones out there too. So I've never, ever been a coin maximalist. I've always been a utilitarian maximalist, right? Whatever coins are the most useful to the most number of people are going to be the ones that are used by the most people there. So I think it's really shameful how this Bitcoin maximalist community is behaving on social media. And if you look at anybody that's outside of the cryptocurrency ecosystem, they come in and look at how these people are behaving. Like, why would I want to be a part of that community? That looks horrible. A bunch of people being mean and nasty and telling lies about each other online. They wouldn't want to have anything to do with that. And what we should want is to be attracting the entire world and saying, hey, this is better money than what you're using currently, and it's a more fun community as well. That's what we want to be showing everybody. This is fun and useful in your life, not boring and a headache like dealing with a bank. So that's my goal with Bitcoin Cash and all cryptocurrencies.
I think you're absolutely right. One of the things that I always tell people when I deal on the institutional side of things, and they ask me, hey, when are the institutions going to step in? When are they going to start moving the needle for us on the capital market side of crypto? And I say, something, it's still going to be a while. All they have to do is sit down and take one look at crypto Twitter, and they're out. I mean, it's a bunch of fools. But hey, one last thing, Roger. What do you think of Kraken becoming a bank? How is that going to change it?
I think it's going to be useful. We have more people with, soon we're going to have Bank of America or Wells Fargo too, where you'll see you have your US dollar balance and your checking and savings, and then your Bitcoin balance, your Bitcoin Cash balance, your Ethereum balance, your everything else balance in there. I think that's fantastic. And the easier it is for people to go to and from traditional government issued currencies into cryptocurrencies, the more people are going to want to use cryptocurrencies. So, I was dealing with a bank all week trying to get them just to deposit my wire that the bank had already had received. What a headache. With the Bitcoin.com wallet, boom, I can do it instantly. So I think it's a fantastic thing. The more on-ramps and off-ramps we can have to and from crypto with a legacy financial system, the more people are going to make that jump. And once they're in crypto, they're just going to stay there because it's so much easier to use and deal with.
That's the truth.
Totally agree. John, you're standing there like you're on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah.
Questions.
Well, gosh, I'm pretty enthused about the massive support for Uni, and that was something, Roger, that really stood out to me this week as far as how these guys went about distributing this stimulus check, because a lot of us, because of the $1,200 nature of it and so forth, people began saying, okay, that's just sounds like the U.S. stimulus check, but it certainly worked. I mean, it doubled, maybe even tripled on, depending where you caught the high and the low. What do you think about the way that they did that distribution of those to initially, I think it was like 50,000 wallets or something like that. What did you think about the way that was handled?
Yeah, I think I need to go and read more about all the wild DeFi stuff that's happening here and catch up, because there's been so much stuff happening and there's only so many hours in the day that I haven't managed to grab enough of an understanding myself to where I'm ready to pull the trigger and jump in myself yet. So I have to confess that I'm slow to that party, but maybe I'll get there eventually.
Yeah, it just seemed, Roger, that some of the young crypto folks on our side were just really enthused about this Uni with the tethering of Ethereum to whatever on Uni, and then the fact that so many people got some sort of reward and allegedly changed their lives by that, depending where they lived in the world. $1,200 was an unbelievable amount of money to them.
For anybody, $1,200 is a pretty nice chunk of change there. So.
Yep.
Not so bad. All right, very cool, guys. Roger, I want to thank you so much for your time. Rob, coming to us early in Texas, John from Chicago, Ryan from New York. I mean, it's always incredible. It's always a blast to hear what you have to say, because you are a voice of reason out there in an otherwise chaotic world. So we like to hear it. But yeah, everybody, thank you very much for joining us today. And till next time, Roger, be safe, my man.